Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Muscle Memory Podcast, episode 15. I am your host, Sean. Hope you guys had a great week so far. Hope you guys enjoyed the weekend. And really, I hope you guys enjoyed our most recent episode, which is that interview between me and my business partner, Josh. I appreciate the support that you guys showed. That one is right now the best performing video on the channel. So I really appreciate that. But for starters, I just want to go ahead and again give thanks to you guys in general just for the support that you've shown, not only my channel, but the Instagram page, the TikTok page, the fitness page, everything you guys have been showing great support on. I can't ask for anything more as a content creator. I just hope that you guys stick with me for the rest of it. I also want to give shout outs to one, Josh, for again coming on the show for the podcast. I appreciate that very much so, as well as another one of my associates, a guy named Brad, runs a brand called Sun City Visions with photography. He's the guy that took those shots that are on my pages right now, those really professional looking ones. Yeah, those are him. So shout outs to him. He's also the guy that made merch for your boy. Muscle Memory Fitness, we now have a shirt for the personal training. So if you want to cop one, we might make more for you guys. Just let me know down below. But yeah, again, shout out to Josh, shout out to Brad, and thanks to all you guys. But let's get right into the episode. All right, starting out, just to clarify what's going on. I didn't get this shirt made for no reason. So obviously, a couple episodes ago, I let you guys know that I'll be putting the personal training on a hold, on a pause, just because I had to get some things figured out on my end. And I did figure out some things. I did some research on my side. Me and my business partners, we kind of just went off to the side and figured some stuff out. And now that we figured out what we needed to figure out, we've come up with a couple more documents that we needed to actually do what we wanted to do. And now I can officially say that we are actually holding training. I'm only doing in-person training right now, sadly. So if you're in the El Paso area, the 915, shoot me a DM, a text, a call, something like that. Y'all have my Instagram, but I'll plug it again in the description, something like that, so you guys can get a hold of me. But yeah, I'm actually doing personal training now. I have a client as of right now. I'm not going to put his information out there or anything like that, but he has let me know that he's very willing to be a testimony. So when we get more results with him, we'll definitely put it out for you guys to see so you can see that the training actually does work. But yeah, right now, only in person. If you're in the El Paso 915 area, hit me up and we can get you this work. But that's that. That's why we have the shirt. And yeah, let's just get into the rest of our episode. This episode is basically going to consist entirely of wrestling because that's all I've had time for outside of business. And I've kind of already went through the whole business side of what I've been doing. So straight into wrestling. Jey Uso versus Logan Paul was taken off the Backlash card. I don't know if it was ever announced for Backlash. I'm pretty sure it was. They had a render for it, but they ended up taking it off the card. I don't know if it was in the build, like the week before, or like days before, or even the night of. But Backlash ended up coming on, and they announced the card again. Jey versus Logan, nowhere to be seen. So what I took that as was they were building more towards the next PLE, which is really what's happening. They just confirmed it for Saturday night's main event. So Jey versus Logan, Saturday night main event. Like I said, when I first brought this feud up, when I thought it was going to be on Backlash, I have no interest in this at all. I don't like that Logan's the first contender whatsoever. And again, I agree with Karrion Kross saying that these YouTubers and guys that aren't actually professional wrestlers are getting shots before the guys that are actually professional wrestlers and have dedicated years and years and years to this business, and like this is their actual career. Meanwhile, Logan was just a guy that got popular on YouTube and had a really big name attached to him, decided to hop into wrestling. It just so happened that he's really good at it, and Triple H wants to push him. It could, like, to be honest, it might not even be Triple H who wants to push him. It could be like Nick Khan or something like that, or someone on the board that really likes Logan and likes the attention that he generates or something like that. But for me, I feel like he shouldn't be getting these big main event championship matches the way that he does. Like, he didn't even need the United States Championship when he had it. He didn't do anything to elevate the title, really. It's just he's good in ring. That's about it. So Logan v. Jay, I have no interest in it, but it is confirmed for Saturday night's main event. So that's that. Their build has literally been Jay getting knocked out every week. I don't know why, because Jay has an actual, like, not Jay. Logan has an actual finisher now. I don't know why they're still trying to sell the storyline of him having this titanium hand. Like, I get it; it plays into his character. You don't want to just like turn that off out of nowhere, but it doesn't really make that much sense outside of like his boxing background. But even then, he wasn't really known for knocking people out like his brother Jake is. So I don't know, but that's Jay and Logan. Also confirmed for Saturday night's main event, Tiffany Stratton and Naomi. Naomi ended up beating Jade, I believe. It's been a couple weeks since then, but Naomi ended up winning a number one contendership match against somebody. I'm pretty sure it was Jade to get a shot at Tiffany at Saturday night's main event. And again, I don't really know what their build is outside of Naomi being a crash out right now. Like she's just tweaking and plotting and lurking in the background, and it's kind of just been her character. But it seems like the people like it. The people are behind her. The people are liking this heel version of Naomi. It seems like this is something that people have been wanting for a good while. So I say continue with it. Let her have fun with it. Let her do what she has to do. I'm pretty sure the match will be fine. The match will be good. I'm not expecting anything crazy, but the match should be good because Naomi's good in ring as well, and obviously Tiffany's great in the ring as well. So I'm pretty sure they'll gel well together in this match. But yeah, Tiffany versus Naomi. Seth and Braun Breaker versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn is also a Saturday night's main event. They confirmed that, I believe, on this week's Raw, if not the past week's. But I'm still trying to figure out where they're going with this. I don't know if they're having this match and then it's going to end up with Sami Zayn turning on Punk, and that's how Zayn joins and becomes the third man, or it's just going to be a tag match and it's probably not even going to have an actual ending because something's going to happen and they bring in a third man like that. Genuinely don't know. I like this whole like Seth power thing that he has going on. I don't know how to describe it much without comparing it to Evolution because that's what everybody's stapling it as, and I can see it. I just don't want to be like everybody else and say, "Oh yeah, this is Evolution," and they need their Randy Orton, which is true. They do need their guy that's the Randy Orton of the group because you have your Triple H, who's the brain of the whole operation, which is Seth, and you have your Batista, who's the muscle, which is Braun Breaker, but you need your guy that's a mix of both, kind of. Your like agile guy, but who's also really smart and low key strong, which was Randy. But again, this could just be like a 3-person thing, but Paul stays as a manager, obviously, and it's just Seth and Braun, which I don't have an issue with. I can't really see anybody right now going into that with them. Everybody's saying that Theory could join, but they're kind of building Theory to turn into a face right now, so it wouldn't make any kind of sense. The only person I can think of right now with the entire storyline that they've had so far since this group's been created is Sami Zayn. And that match would kind of be the place for Sami to turn and join that group, but I genuinely don't know. Like I said before, I feel like the end goal is for Braun Breaker to end up with the World Heavyweight Championship, but it'll obviously go to Seth first. But yeah, confusing, but it is what it is. Uh, going back to Logan Paul. Logan cut a promo on Jay this past week, and Gunther ended up coming out. Gunther basically stated that point of, you're a YouTuber, you're not a wrestler, you don't belong here, you don't deserve to be here. And basically let him know, like, hey, if you win that match somehow, you somehow beat Jay for the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm coming back for my belt. I'm coming back for my championship, and it's going to be rather easy because, like I said before, you don't deserve this, you don't belong here, you're not a wrestler. Basically saying you're not on my level. And to be quite honest, if for some weird reason Logan wins this match, which he's not, I would expect him going against Gunther to be a squash match. Logan will be a transitional champion. It'll be like when The Miz won the WWE Championship for the second time, and he beat, I think he cashed in on McIntyre for it or something like that. And yeah, and then he lost it like 2 weeks later against Bobby Lashley. It'll be something like that. But yeah, I hope they don't have a match against each other. If they do, then it is what it is. I just hope there's not any kind of gold on the line when that happens. But yeah, Gunther and Logan had a segment. It was cool. That was probably one of Gunther's better promos. Gunther's getting back into his like ruthless and more aggressive promos, which really is what made me like Gunther as a character was his promos. Like his in-ring work is obviously great, but for me, promos have always been what attaches me to characters. Like like in terms of Roman, when Roman was obviously the big dog and he was in the Shield, all that, I was just cool with him because he was okay in the ring, and his promos were so I didn't really care that much when the Shield broke up. I gravitated towards Seth because Seth was the best promo out of the three. So, and then obviously Roman transitioned into the Tribal Chief, got much better on the mic, got better in ring as well. As a whole, he just became a better character. So that's what drew me to Roman because he got more confident on the mic, and that's something that like I'll give people their credits when they're really, really good on the mic. Gunther is one of those people. So yeah, good promo from Gunther. Again, could care less about Logan. Karrion Kross. I don't know if I spoke on this, but Karrion Kross is genuinely getting over with the crowd. As of, I believe, the beginning of the week, when I first figured this out, I'm pretty sure it was the beginning of this week. Maybe it was sometime over the weekend. Karrion Kross is the number one merch seller right now, and he is nowhere near a main event guy. They're not showing him as a main event guy. They're not portraying him as one. He cut one promo post WrestleMania, basically ripping into the booking mechanics of everything and ripping into Logan Paul and all that good stuff. And he generated his own merch sales and he generated his own following, and people started to believe in him. But there's this polar opposite where it's like you have your people who want Kross to get pushed to the moon, and you have your people where they're like, well, I don't really care about Kross. Let him talk, and that's about it. But it doesn't make sense to me because, like Kross said in this promo, he was told when it comes down to like getting eyes on you and like getting seen, it's like a earn it type thing. I'm pretty sure he earned his spot in terms of like being on TV, considering how many people want him to like genuinely appear on TV and genuinely get pushed. Like he was on main event and got major pops. Like not main event as in like a main event in a match or anything, like on a Raw or a SmackDown or something like that. He was literally on like the show that they taped before Raw called main event. That's like dark matches and stuff, and he got mad pops there just being there. Just like he wrestled a match, but he got mad pops there. Like everyone's behind Karrion Kross right now is what it looks like, and it's never sat right with me when like in some cases people the company just doesn't listen to the crowd, maybe because they just don't have faith in that character, which kind of sucks because I don't want Kross to end up in that like loop of, oh yeah, I have my really, really high ups, but the company doesn't believe in me, so I just get shot back down. And I don't want him to end up in that kind of like phantom zone where he just can't break out. It's kind of like Finn. Like Finn Balor. He had so much hype generated around him, and then he obviously dislocated his shoulder. And he like when he dislocated his shoulder, he had became the first Universal Champion that same night. He had to vacate the night after because he couldn't do anything with the shoulder. They believed in his hype so much that they made him the inaugural Universal Champion. But when he came back, he didn't get anywhere near the same treatment. He was no longer seen as a main event guy. He wasn't competing for the World Championship in any such sort of way. They started putting him in tag matches and in the mid card and all that good stuff, which by all means is cool because Finn was still getting screen time. We could see how good Finn was, but we all knew that Finn was still a top level guy. And honestly, right now, Finn could still be a top level guy. But as a fan, we all know it's at the end of the day, everybody can be a top level guy. And it's just talk at the end of the day. We can all say, oh, yeah, this guy can be a top level. This guy can be a top level. They can be a top level guy. They can be main event. They can be world champion as much as we want. But if the company doesn't see it like that and they don't think that the people are going to like it, then they just won't do anything with it. And kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So, yeah, the carrying cross situation is a bit frustrating for the fans that genuinely like Cross. Like, I'm one of the fans that actually genuinely enjoys seeing carrying Cross and watching him work and all that. Because as someone who aspires to be a professional wrestler, carrying Cross is a very interesting person to study because he's a psychological character. He plays mental games, and you don't see that a lot, especially with how Cross plays his mind games. And people don't realize how certain things have shifted in WWE after a person has interacted with Karrion Kross. I can go down the list for a few. AJ Styles had his heel turn literally right after a feud with Karrion Kross. Let me see who else was there. Miz turned after a couple interactions with Cross. He turned on R-Truth again. Let's see. Let's go back a couple years, back when the Bloodline was in full force. Karrion Kross had one interaction with the Bloodline, and it wasn't even him that came out. It was Scarlett bringing the hourglass out when he was still using the hourglass, and she put it in the ring and turned it, basically saying that time is running out for the Bloodline. Now, at first, you would think, oh yeah, Karrion Kross is going to get a match against Roman Reigns. You're going to start building a feud against that. But if you look at what happened in all the events after that, the Bloodline started to crumble. The Bloodline slowly dissipated, and now the Bloodline doesn't even exist anymore. So it's just the small things with Karrion Kross's characters that makes him so compelling and so interesting. And honestly, I think that might be part of the reason why they won't book him in a way of like making him an actual like legitimate threat to a world championship, because his character is so complex and they feel like the average fan won't be able to understand it, which in a sense is true. But if they build it the right way, which again I know is very fan like to say, because you can say that with everybody. If they build it the right way, then everybody will understand it. But in this case, it's very much so true. If you build Karrion Kross the right way, everybody will understand his character. You just have to give it time for people to catch on. And yeah, that's my take on that. So I'm gonna move on because I can rant on that for a good minute as well. Um, we got a couple NXT call-ups recently in the form of Roxanne and Julia. They both separately went to Raw and SmackDown. Roxanne is now on Raw, Julia being on SmackDown. Julia had a little interaction with Charlotte and Alexa. It wasn't that much of an interaction. She just walked out of the office. Nick Aldis introduced them to her. I'll talk on Charlotte and Alexa in a bit. But Roxanne being on Raw, basically her first major scene was her going back and talking with Judgment Day. Finn brought her in. Finn's interested in bringing her into the team. Liv is not there right now because she's shooting a movie, but Finn is saying that he now agrees with Dom's take of wanting to add a new member to the team. So he brought Roxanne, but no one else was really that well receptive of her, especially not Raquel. No one really likes Roxanne right now outside of Finn. So that's that. There's a little bit of tension between them. I don't know if this is going to lead to Judgment Day finally splitting up, which would be cool because I'm ready to see everybody go do their own thing, mainly Finn. But yeah, well, I'll look forward to seeing what that does for itself. Speaking of which, not this. It's not speaking of anything. I just thought of something that I said I was going to do, and I didn't really follow up on after LFG. So we had two. We had two winners. LFG is now finished. Undertaker got the championship, the LFG championship. I'm pretty sure that just means he was the best coach out of all of them. But the men, Jasper Troy, he was the winner of season one of LFG on the men's side. And then Tasha May Steele, the Olympic gold medalist, she won on the women's side. So Jasmine Troy already made his debut on NXT. Tasha May should be showing up sometime soon on actual NXT television. So looking forward to seeing the both of them. Jasper Troy basically like immediately made his impact though. He pulled up on Obafemi and dropped him. So that'll be interesting to see where that goes with that. I don't know if they're going to immediately put him in the championship picture. If they do, hopefully he can hold his own in the ring. But for them to win season one, obviously they have a lot of potential. So I look forward to seeing what they do in the company. Yeah, but that was me going off on a little bit of a tangent because I forgot to write that in the notes for this episode. That just popped into my brain. But yeah, going back to Alexa and Charlotte. Alexa, about 2 weeks ago, had a little interaction with Charlotte saying that maybe they could be friends. They followed up on it the next week, saying that Charlotte did something for Alexa in NXT that not a lot of people would have done for her during that time. Charlotte basically being the douche that she is, basically saying, "Oh yeah, I don't really remember that." So yeah, and that led to the Julia interaction of her walking out of the office and Nick Aldis introducing them to everybody. So that was that. Hopefully, they don't try to make this a team thing. I'm kind of confused on where Alexa's playing in terms of her being a regular character again or her being with the Wyatt Six because we haven't heard anything with them in months. So I don't know if they're trying to bring her in as the new leader or they just don't have anything for the Wyatt Six right now because they don't have any like substantial groups that could go against them because the Wyatt Six are all like paranormal type stuff. So that's that. Let's see what else we got going on. So Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax had a match recently for the I'm pretty sure it was for Tiffany's championship, the women's championship, the WWE Women's Championship, sorry, on SmackDown. And in that match, Nia Jax got busted open the hard way. Uh so she brought in she ended up bringing in a chair. Stephanie did one of her little shotgun drop kicks to the chair. I guess she kicked the crap out of the chair, and one of the edges caught Nia Jax right on the forehead, sliced her open immediately, and she was leaking. But luckily, that was basically the end of the match. There was a picture of it, and yeah, she got caught. So that was that. But it was kind of interesting to see. It was a cool spot. Don't get me wrong. It was just random because you don't normally see people get busted open the hard way like that anymore. So, especially off of chair spots, at least not in WWE, you don't really see that happen as much anymore. But they also said that they're trying to cut back on blading and all that good stuff. So we might not see as much blood, even though we're in the Netflix era and it's very much so more unfiltered than any of the previous content. So we'll see how that goes. Zoe Stark recently got injured. She was in the triple threat match for the Money in the Bank qualifier. It was her, Kairi Sane, randomly. I haven't seen Kyrie in forever. And Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley ended up winning that match after Zoe ended up tweaking her knee again. I'm pretty sure she actually like broke it again or dislocated it or pulled something in there like an ACL, MCL, meniscus, something along that line. It was something along with her knee and her knee issues or previous knee issues. Because I'm pretty sure she landed the wrong way or she just planted a little bit too hard on something and her knee just went in on her and it gave out on her. So she was taken out of the match immediately. Rhea is qualified for the Money in the Bank match, and that's that. Get well soon, Zoe Stark. Hope to see you back in competition soon. Switching over to NXT. Next pay per view is NXT Battleground. Confirmed so far, we have Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace. I don't know if they're going to let Jordan win. If Jordan does win, I think this is Stephanie's call up match. Basically, Stephanie loses the belt. She takes maybe a couple weeks off, and she shows up on Raw or SmackDown a little bit later, maybe around next month ish. We're already getting close to next month, so it wouldn't be that. It'll probably be like the middle of the month, middle of next month, something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this will be a call up match for her. Obviously, this is going to be a fire match. NXT has one of not only the best women's division in wrestling, but just one of the most talented rosters in wrestling right now. they know what they're doing when it comes down to picking people to show up on NXT and wrestle, because NXT is obviously must watch television whenever it's on the TV. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not Black and Gold NXT. Black and Gold NXT was on a whole nother level. It was PWG with the WWE name on it. So, for those of you who know, PWG was lit. So, yeah, like Black and Gold NXT was something special. But this NXT, the white and gold, well, this isn't even white and gold. This is silver NXT. But they're trying to do something with this, and I'm pretty sure they're trying to separate it into being its own brand, which they kind of already have. So that's good on them, and hopefully they just keep the momentum going when it comes down to building their divisions. But Stephanie Becker, Jordan Grace, Battleground, definitely going to be a certified banger. And yeah, I genuinely don't know who's going to win that match. But on the men's side, we have Obafemi versus Miles Bourne of No Quarter Catch Crew. Miles Bourne won a number one contendership battle royal with a bunch of names in that match that you would have thought had a chance of winning. Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Sean Spears. They had a guy from Evolve named Sean Legacy. He had a really good showing. He ended up having a triple threat match this week against Javon and Ashanti the Adonis. He ended up winning that match, had another great showing. I look forward to seeing more of Sean Legacy. I'll probably start watching Evolve on my own, to be honest, because it seems like they have a lot of good stuff over there. But it's just a bunch of WWE ID talent on one show. So cool aspect in total. But yeah, Oba versus Miles Bourne. I don't know how this is going to go. I genuinely don't, because they could play this one of two ways: of Miles getting absolutely demolished, or Miles putting up a really good fight, and everybody thinking Miles might actually have a chance of winning this match. But at the end of the day, it's Obafemi. I have no faith that Obafemi is losing that championship right now. I don't think they've built the right guy up to take out Obafemi yet. Now, if they were to build Jasper Troy up to take out Obafemi, okay, cool. I just think it'll be a little bit too soon. But yeah, they don't have anybody that has that dominance of Obafemi right now. And I don't want to see another Trick Williams run. I would love to see a Javon Evans run. It's just to keep letting them take losses. In the triple threat match, he wasn't the one who took the pin, but obviously he's not winning as much as he should. Well, not as much as he should, as much as I would like him to. Let me say it like that. Because obviously saying should will cause a bit of controversy and debate, and I don't want to do all that. But yeah, Oba versus Miles Bourne, going to be an interesting matchup. Honestly, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I got Oba for the win, as always. Uh, and a bit of a mashup match, we have Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry for the TNA World Championship. Now, if you remember in my last regular episode before we did the interview, I said that Trick Williams has recently turned heel. He went to TNA, had some beef with Joe Hendry, called out. Everybody said he's bigger than NXT, bigger than TNA, and he basically challenged Joe Hendry for a match for the TNA World Championship. Joe Hendry obviously accepted. They've kind of been exchanging words over the few weeks. They had a song off or something like that, like a versus battle, if you will, where they both performed their own songs at different points of the show. And that was that. They had a contract signing, I believe, the same week or the week before. But yeah, their match is confirmed for the TNA World Championship. Obviously, Joe Hendry's winning, unless you're going to tell me that we're going to see Trick Williams on TNA television more often, which is cool to see him on a different show. And it'll be refreshing for him to have a new audience to deal with all the time and all that. But I don't think they're going to let a WWE talent win a TNA championship, just like they won't let a WWE talent win an NXT championship. So more than likely, Joe Hendry's winning that match. And that's that. And for the North American Championship, these matches are all a battleground, by the way. Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks. I keep saying Starks. Ricky Saints. I'm so used to calling him Ricky Starks, but Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page, North American Championship. I don't know why they keep doing this match. Like, yes, they have great chemistry. Yes, they're always good matches. But you don't have to keep putting it on repeat. You can put somebody else in there, you know? I'm pretty sure Ricky's gonna win this match again. I don't believe that Ethan's gonna win the match. If he does, it'll be for no reason because, like I said, originally the crowd's very much so behind Ricky. So yeah, I got Ricky for the win on that one. But finishing up with NXT, this happened on regular NXT television. Chase U is back. Andre Chase got access to Chase U again. I don't know the exact way he got it back, but Chase U's back, and the Chase U boys ended up having a tag match against returning OTM, and they kind of got smoked. So OTM came back, ran through Chase U, and yeah, that's that. That's Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So let's get right into AEW, starting off with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. So if you've been following for the past couple weeks, MJF has been trying everything to get his way into the Hurt Syndicate. And if I remember correctly, the last time I spoke on it, I said that MJF got 2 of 3 thumbs up. He was just waiting on Lashley. Lashley took his car, all that good stuff, funny segments. MJF is now finally in the Hurt Syndicate. And in this past week, they had their little signing for MJF to actually be in. MJF has his own like little lawyer and all that good stuff as well. He had a matching suit. Then he made hats. It was a nice little big thing. The Hurt Syndicate is very over with people, and Max being a part of it is just basically comedy at this point. He's like the comedy of the group because obviously everybody else is just we hurt people, and yeah. So I don't know if this is going to turn into MJF turning like he always does, or Cedric Alexander pulling up and they kick MJF out anyway, or they just never kick MJF out and they actually do help MJF get the World Heavyweight Championship, which again would be cool. But as of right now, I don't know where this is going. I just know MJF is in the Hurt Syndicate and it's cool to see. So that's that. Let's see. Updates for the women's division. We have Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the Women's World Championship at Double or Nothing. So I believe Mina either pinned Toni or she just had a number one contender match that she won. But I'm pretty sure she pinned Toni in a match that like made her number one contender. So obviously it's going to be a cool match. Me personally, after saying that Mariah May could be leaving to go to go to WWE or go to a different company, but also seeing her own posts and her own comments on certain things, I do think that this would be the perfect time for her to return to AEW. I think she might return after that match, and she might just take whoever out, whoever wins that match out. If Mina wins that match, she might just come after Mina. If Toni wins that match, then she might come after Toni. But it wouldn't make sense for her to go after Toni, even though they had that Hollywood ending. So I don't know what would happen. Maybe it'll just be like a walkout thing, like "Hey, I'm back" type thing. But that would be the perfect time for her to come back, considering her relationship with both Mina and Toni. So that's that. Again, it's going to be another good match. We have an Anarchy in the Arena match that is confirmed. So we have the Death Riders and the Young Bucks versus Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, and the Ops. For those that don't know, the Ops are Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, the original trio takes out Powerhouse Hobbs and has Hook, but Hook is currently injured at the moment, so he cannot participate in the match, which sucks, but it is what it is. So it'll be Wheeler, Claudio, Marina Shafir, John Moxley. Yeah, that's the Death Riders right there versus and the Bucks. So that's 6 people. Is it 6 on 6? Swerve, Willow, and the Ops. No, it's only 5. I don't know. Maybe I can't count. Maybe I looked at the render the wrong way. But yeah, Anarchy in the Arena. It. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of Moxley with the World Championship. I know that Hangman's going to be the one to take it off of him, but I'm genuinely just tired of seeing him with the championship. I'm kind of tired of the Death Riders as a whole because their whole thing was, oh yeah, we have AEW under siege, and they haven't really done much with it because everybody thought, oh yeah, when the Bucks come back, it's going to be the save AEW. It's going to be to take it back from the Death Riders and all that, and then they joined the Death Riders. So that was that. And I have no care for it whatsoever. Anarchy in the Arena is obviously going to be a crazy match, but for John Moxley and the Death Riders as a whole, could care less. Hangman versus Osprey more than likely might be hands. Like it's probably going to be match of the night. I can almost guarantee that Hangman versus Osprey is going to be match of the night. That's the men's Owen Hart finals. Winner of that faces John Moxley at All In Texas. So, as much as I love Osprey, Hangman's winning that match. They've built Hangman too well for him to lose that match. If he does lose, it's just because Tony has too much love for Will, and he just wants Will to have a world championship. Which, again, I would love to see Will with the World Heavyweight Championship. I just don't think he needs one right now. I think Hangman getting that World Heavyweight Championship kind of has that save AEW vibe. If we get Will, we just know we're just going to get like great World Heavyweight Championship matches all the time. Same as Hangman, but Hangman has story connected to his. Will is just, I'm a very good professional wrestler, and that's about it. That's about it. So Hangman, I got Hangman beating Osprey, going to All In, and Hangman beating Moxley for the World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, I still look forward to the match. It's gonna be great. But that's that. On the women's side of it, we have Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. Is it Jamie Hayter? Yeah, Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter in the finals of the female bracket of the Owen Hart Finals. Winner of that faces the winner of Tony versus Mina at All In. I got Jamie winning. Mercedes has too many championships right now. Like, yes, she just lost her strong open championship, but I don't think she's beating Jamie Hayter to challenge for another world championship. I believe they're going to let Jamie do it. And if Tony makes it to All In and it's Tony that goes into All In as women's world champion, I do believe they're going to let Jamie get her world championship back, which I believe was one that she never lost. Actually, no, she didn't. Never mind, she lost to Tony. Don't mind me. It's been a minute since Jamie's had a world championship, but I'm pretty sure they're going to let Jamie beat Tony and All In, and yeah, again, gonna be a good match. I'm just ready for the end results of people winning their championships. I'm kind of like a cut to the chase person when it comes down to that. But finishing it off in terms of wrestling, FTR has called out Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia to a tag match. Recently, Nigel McGuinness accepted. It's really cool to see Nigel McGuinness actually wrestling again, especially after his injuries and him being taken out of action early due to them, and him being able to like basically step into the ring whenever he wants to now. It's really cool to see, and this will more so probably be a technical match on the side of Daniel and Nigel, because at the end of the day, they're both pure wrestlers, and FTR are just the brawlers. So it'll be brawling versus technicians. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is going to be a 2-on-2 tag match. I think this is going to turn into a FTR wins the match and Daniel Garcia turns. Or Daniel Garcia turns in the middle of the match, Nigel gets singled out, and FTR obviously wins, and Daniel Garcia gets added to the Living Legend Killers. I don't know how they'll do it, but I do feel like this is a guaranteed heel turn for Daniel Garcia. So, again, another match that I look forward to. I just, the results are very iffy. Like, I see where it could go, but knowing AEW could go in a whole different direction and it could lead to something else. Oh, we got Speedball versus Okada versus the Continental Championship. I forgot about that. So my money's on Speedball. I have I have money on Speedball. Just because Speedball's been booked really well since he came in, I don't think he's going to come in and lose to Okada. And this isn't the same Okada that we had in New Japan. They didn't bring him to AEW and make him the same Okada. This is just Okada that calls everybody a B word and gives people the bird. So I got Speedball for the win here. And hopefully they push Speedball to the moon after that. And then we have Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe in a stretcher match. I don't know where that came from. Genuinely, I don't know where that came from. just because I don't watch AEW that much to where I would know where it came from. I just know Ricochet has been bullying Mark Gowen for like a couple weeks, and he took his leg and all that good stuff. So, for all I know, I don't know where that's going. We got Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher for the TNT champ. No, it's not actually. It's not Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. I just saw the interaction and I immediately thought it was that. That would be a great match, by the way. I would love to see that. I'd pay money to see that. We're getting Paragon, which is Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong versus the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher, Penoste Takeshita, and somebody else. Somebody else. I don't remember. I think it's either Trent or freaking whatchamacallit. It might be Trent or Rocky Romero, but I'm pretty sure they're going to put Trent in there. So Trent can also get to catch the Kyle Fletcher versus Paragon of Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole. I wish Adam Cole would defend his championship more often, and the T-Team Championship would turn into what the Intercontinental Championship is for WWE in terms of being the workhorse championship. Yeah, and that's that. That's my opinion on the entirety of that situation. I don't really have many opinions on this stuff just because I don't feel I have much so of a right to have an opinion on just because I don't watch the product as much as everyone else does. Mainly because I'm busy focused on the business and all that. But yeah, that's basically that's basically all I got for you guys this week. Hopefully this is a longer episode. I know I promised one, so I hope that this is a longer episode. But yeah. If it's not, I'm sorry. If it is, I stuck to my word. But yeah, I just haven't done much. Obviously, I haven't been gaming and I haven't been streaming much, so I can't talk about that. I do know that Doom Dark Ages has come out recently. I really, really do look forward to playing that, and I look forward to streaming it for all you with all that. But like I said, that's something that I'm going to wait for when I actually get the proper equipment to do so. So when I do get that stuff, I'll make sure you guys know about it. But right now, everything's on hold when it comes down to streaming and gaming. But I'll be sure to keep you guys updated when it comes down to merch, personal training stuff. When we decide to go online, we can give it to a wider audience. And yeah, just anything business related that I don't talk about here on the podcast, you don't see on Reels or anything like that. So I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on all of that. Again, thank you guys so much for your support and for sticking with me even through the weeks that I'm not here and the weeks that I'm just focusing on business, even if it's just as much as sending a like on a YouTube video or on a reel or on a TikTok short or something like that. It all means a lot to me, even if it's just you viewing the video. I take it very much so to heart because I really do want to make this a full-time thing. I'm very passionate about this, and I'm passionate about helping you guys out and just interacting with you guys and giving you guys entertainment. And I feel like this podcast does that. So thank you guys so much for doing all that. Thank Josh for allowing me to bring him on to this platform, for him to be able to talk to you guys and all that, and for allowing me to be able to ask him those questions to where we can inform you and all that good stuff. And thank Brad again for one, making a shirt for me, making a shirt where I can actually go and train my clients in, and I can actually post videos in on the fitness page with all this good stuff. And just and for photography, I thank him for that as well. Thanks for taking photos and helping me get my name out there in a more professional way. So thanks to everybody that's helped me so far. And most importantly, thank you guys again so very much. But that's all I got for you guys this week. This has been Muscle Memory, episode 15. I have been your host, Sean. I'll see you guys next week. Stay blessed. Peace.